Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. It's Brother Paul here coming from sunny Croydon today. It's another Friday, it's another lunch, learn and pray, and I'm delighted to be your host today. Albeit I'm on my own, but it's a Zoom cast or a podcast, so that's how it goes. We like to provide the material, you guys can watch it on demand. So today we got a few little nuggets for you. Let me just get my screen in order. And we go through the usual early blessings. So let me just see if everything is working in Croydon. Hope you guys are all looking forward to the weekend. There you go. So, churchgoers, the blueprint for church centers of excellence. We are a kingdom mentoring platform providing all the power that Christians need to achieve their aspirations through the power of mentoring. And as I was recently telling some audience members, mentoring is all about wisdom. Wisdom comes from the Bible, particularly the book of Proverbs. And this whole platform has been built on that one single principle. Given that Jesus is the ultimate mentor, I'm sure you guys will agree that it all makes sense. Anyway, today, let me just, for those who aren't aware, let me start.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. We're excited to unveil the future of digital ministry, the ChurchGOers platform. Our platform is designed to empower churches to reach a wider audience, deepen connections, and transform lives. With a suite of powerful tools and resources, you'll have everything you need to elevate your online presence and make a significant impact. From creating stunning websites to engaging your audience through social media, our platform simplifies the complexities of digital ministry. With user-friendly interfaces and expert guidance, you'll be able to implement effective strategies and measure your results. Explore the features and benefits of the ChurchGOers platform through our interactive presentation. Click any object to reveal more multimedia content. I'll leave you now to embark on this journey that is set to reshape the future of church ministry.
Listen, that guy's an intruder. I did not ask him to come and do the intro. We have somebody else that does the intro. But anyway, yes, most of the stuff that he said there, all the stuff he said there was true. For those who aren't familiar with churchgoers, so we empower believers, we empower saints, as represented by this icon here, to become digital evangelists and ultimately mentoring role models. So we like you not just to walk the walk, but talk the talk and act the act. As the Apostle James would say, faith and action, faith and deeds. And the platform absolutely makes it very easy for people to do that. And then we empower the churches, amongst others, to become not just conventional churches, but go on a journey to become hybrid churches, and ultimately to be centers of excellence. We want the church, the vision is that from the outside of the kingdom, right? We want people to look at the church as a center of excellence. Everything we do, therefore, has to have the mark of excellence within it. Now, we lay the blueprints for that, right? We lay the blueprints and we're saying, well, here's the best practices. Here's the blueprints. Here's the knowledge base. Let's aspire to be centers of excellence and recover the position of Christianity being the top religion in the UK, if not the world, right? And we achieve that not by interfering with the church. We work for the church. So we are allies of the church. We're not a church. We're not even a movement. We are servants to the church, which is why I go by the title Digital Shepherd, because I'm just gathering the flock into the kingdom. It's just that I work on a digital layer rather than a traditional analog layer. We don't walk up and down evangelizing. We surf the internet. It's like horses for courses. It's all good. So hopefully that gives you a rough idea of what churchgoers is. I think I'm going to feel guilty if I don't give you the usual intro. So let my lady here.
Greetings and welcome to our Lunch, Learn, and Pray session presented by Churchgoers, the thought leaders in digital ministry, and community church. Today, as always, we start by blessing your lunch. followed by a multimedia presentation, and concluding with a Q&A section. Just a few housekeeping points to go through before we get started. Please stay on mute until we launch the interactive section. But in the meantime, do key your questions in the chat or use the Google form link provided. The session will be recorded, so you are welcome to switch off your cameras if preferred. But if you're feeling truly Christian, then key your name and church in the chat and keep those emojis coming. Lastly, we thank NTCG Herne Hill for sponsoring the session today. I now have great pleasure in introducing the founder of ChurchGOers, Brother Paul Johnson.
Yes, thank you. Intro's over, and I am delighted to do a little presentation for you today. So today we are expecting some guests to come on with some questions. So we've left it a bit open. We haven't got a tight agenda. Let me start by focusing on the latest slide, which we've added to the executive pack, which is here. All right. So this might help people who aren't familiar with churchgoers as well. But for me, the best map I can give you of what churchgoers does at a core level, because the platform does an awful lot, but at a core level, just think mentoring, right? Just think mentoring. And you won't be far off as to what we represent. Now, you can see churchgoers here in the center, and then there are two circles either side. Now, the church is represented on one side, depending on your perspective or mine. So you've got the church on what is my left, and academia to my right as I look at it. So we mentor those demographics of the church. So you've got the youth, you've got the business owners or enterprise owners, you've got your digital ministry teams that look after your AV systems, etc. And you've got your online evangelists or people who want to evangelize online. And then, of course, we mentor the church institution itself, showing them how to become cyber secure, hot topic, or GDPR compliant, or how to optimize their administration processes, how to complete their digital transformation. We are mentoring each and every aspect of the church separately, but thoroughly. And we do this in a very efficient way. And if people come on board in the way we suggest, we can get this job done quite easily. Okay. So is that someone requesting coming in, or is it automatically in? Let me just have a quick check. Admit. Okay. So if I can get my mouse to work today, it was working well yesterday. Okay. So as I was saying, kingdom mentoring. So you've got the church on one side, you've got academia on the other side, and we mentor each demographic of the church separately, dealing with their needs. So we provide free mentoring. This stuff would normally cost you £100 an hour plus. We provide a whole wealth of mentors for people who have their own business that are in the church, no charge. People that are in digital ministry that have to look after AV systems and the computers and the whole tech stack that's in the church. We mentor them as to how they operate the technology that they have. It's actually quite interesting that people think when you buy some tech, then everything's good. It's like, it's not that easy. If I was to go out, one day I'll be able to afford it. But if I was to go out and buy a helicopter, would I be a pilot? Can I fly anywhere? Can I take my helicopter to church? No, it's no good to me until I go on a course, until I get some training to use the tech. And that's the situation we're in, I'm afraid, with most churches and charities. It's like, some of them have the tech. I think, but you've got everything you need, but no one knows how to operate it. And so what good is it? What good is it for you? Or when they do operate it, they operate it in an analog way, not a digital way. And therefore, they're not reaping the benefits. The whole tech industry was invented for efficiency, for automation, to make things easier for us humans, you know, to the extent now where we live in a world of convenience. So, but anyway, I don't want to digress. So people who want to be online evangelists, yeah, so we mentor them as to all the different ways you can evangelize online. And we have one large initiative at the moment where you can submit your testimonial. That will be put into an anthology, a book of testimonials that we're going to launch on Amazon. And we're doing that for free. So we're not just talking the talk, we're actually I'm going to go through from the beginning to the end of every single way that you can evangelize online. And if you want to be involved, you can be involved in those steps. All right. And then youth ministry, yeah. So we're mentoring them in a traditional way. We are following them from church into university. Right. We're following them effectively by providing mentors to academia, mentors to university, so that we don't lose touch with our youth, because statistics tell us that 88% do not come back. When they go over here, they do not come back to church. You know, we lose them just like that. They disappear, right? And my solution is, well, we're coming to uni with you, right? We're coming to uni with you. We're going to provide the work experience opportunities for you. And we're going to provide mentors on your mentoring schemes that are run by the universities. Hopefully that's making sense. And the top layer, obviously, they're the people who have businesses. So we provide business mentoring for them, again, as I say, free of charge. But we expect those people to volunteer, because mentoring is primarily a voluntary activity, to volunteer on our mentoring platform and mentor anybody that wants to run a business like theirs, or wants to know what it's like to operate a business, or, you know, whatever they do, manufacture products, or, you know, do people's hair, whatever your profession is, whatever your skill or occupation is. We're asking you to spend a few hours a year mentoring someone if you're approached through the platform for that purpose. And then to take it one step further, and if you have time to volunteer being a mentor on university programs, which again, you know, something that I do, and it only necessitates a few hours a year per student. So, you know, it would make a huge difference to how the world sees us if we own mentoring. No one owns it at the moment. Most people have heard of it, but have never benefited from it, never had a mentor in their journey. And, you know, I'm a strong advocate of mentoring. I've seen the phenomenal results it has for just a small investment of your time and experience. And just finally, when you get addicted to mentoring or Proverbs, depending on how you want to see it, you will probably want a little bit more. And we have 100 organizations that do mentoring on a professional level. Some do cultural mentoring, financial mentoring, youth mentoring, mentoring for boys, mentoring for women, mentoring for kids, etc., etc., etc. So we can arrange for you guys to be introduced to these organizations that you may choose to serve with. So, you know, sometimes people do it when they're just about to retire. But anyway, we have the connections. We are all about kingdom mentoring. Okay, let me see if we have anyone in the house. Good afternoon, Sister Jacqueline. Nice of you to join.
Hello, Paul. Sorry, I'm eating my lunch, so I'm not.
Don't tell me what you're eating, because I'm actually running behind time, so I haven't had my lunch yet. But you know, we'll bless it for you. We'll bless it for you. All right, I'll carry on. Yep. Perfect. Okay, so the other announcement is, now I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alpha, right? So Alpha is an organization that runs where am I going here? That run courses for people who are new to church and Christianity. And let's see if I can, can't spell here. So it's a course that I haven't actually been on myself, but wish I had gone on it when I first started to go to church, right? It's like that would help because I'm kind of logical, so I have questions, and until those questions are answered in my mind, I can't move forward. I need the answers. I want to know, what does that acronym stand for? You know, how does this work and how does that work? I'm kind of just really particular about how I learn and how I move on with things. But anyway, so we are planning to do an alpha course, an online alpha course, right? Let me see if I can find it. But not just any online alpha course. We're going to do an alpha wisdom course, right? Because our USP, our reason for existing is to make mentoring commonplace, so that people can associate mentoring with Christianity and vice versa. So when someone says, I need a mentor, everybody should be thinking, oh, well, you need to go to the nearest church because it's full of mentors, right? They're not just role models anymore. They are mentoring role models, right? So that's my vision. Now, so I basically want to be able to provide some material that churches can adopt to show people the power of mentoring, right? So this is what I want to do. But in the meantime, what I'm going to be doing is amalgamating the alpha course with my mentoring concepts until all the material is ready, and then we leave alpha where it is and we just call it the wisdom series or the wisdom knowledge, or what, I don't even know what we're going to call it. But that's my vision. That's what God is kind of like saying. I think you need to do that. Take their model and use it to show people the power of Proverbs. Because I challenge you to find a pastor that preaches on Proverbs. Everybody dips in with their favorite Proverbs, you know, iron sharpens iron, and you know, all the rest. But no one develops a sermon around Proverbs. So in my opinion, no one knows the power of the wisdom that's in all of those Proverbs. You know, it was there for a reason, and I think I have come across the reason why it's there. So let me just see. So yeah, this is the alpha call. So we're gonna, if things work out, we're gonna launch that next month. So listen out for further announcements. Let me just see if I can quickly run a trailer and see, for those who may not be familiar.
Every day we ask so many questions. What should I wear? What's the weather going to be like? How am I going to fit everything in? But then there are those bigger questions, like why am I here? Where am I heading? Is there more to life than this?
I had arrived at an answer to the most important issue that we humans ever deal with. Is there a God? And I had arrived there without ever really looking at the evidence. And I was supposed to be a scientist.
At 28, I had gotten many of the things that I thought I wanted. My girlfriend was on the cover of magazines, I had a Beamer, and I was so unhappy. It was a realization maybe that I would never find happiness where I was looking for it.
I think for so many years, you know, I always just strived to be strong in myself. All I needed was me and my buddies, and, you know, we'd be like invincible. But the truth is, none of us are.
I found purpose, I found meaning, I found hope. God took something so broken and made it a beautiful art piece.
Alpha is a place where you can be yourself. You can say what you think and challenge everything. No question is too complex or too simple. And what your point of view is as important as anyone else's.
We are going on a journey together, an adventure to explore the questions of life, faith, and meaning.
Yeah, so that's the kind of videos that they provide as a package to other churches to run Alpha courses and help people to join the church or understand what the church is all about, and more importantly, to answer questions that they have about life generally, you know, and the reason why we're here and God, etc., etc. And I just think that's spot on. I think that is a really good initiative, and we want to kind of do our own version of it, but zooming in on wisdom specifically, you know. As you can see, their material is really good. So I'm gonna go on the course, you know, online. We're gonna do it on a Wednesday evening, and at the end of the course, I think it'll be clearer to me how I need to get my material together and how I need to differentiate my offering from what they offer, because there's room for both. Okay, so that is the key announcement. That there's more work coming my way, but you know, it's all good. I think it will help people to come on board and understand what we do, but it will also help to bring people into the kingdom. The other thing is that I did a little presentation for my church, and they wanted it for the kids, and they wanted no tech. You know, it has to be really Sunday school level pitched. So I ended up making a game, and that really went down well. I can't actually show you the game yet because it's not finished, right? So I'd rather not show you it as it stands. But the game, it's a board game, and it's an adoption. It is a biblical adoption of a very common board game. And suffice to say, it's all about Proverbs, right? So I'm just going to whet your appetite. But as part of mentoring, remember I said every opportunity that's available to Christians digitally or online, we're going to be doing practical examples or demonstrations or mentorships based around activities like launching a book. And in this instance, we're going to be launching a game. So our second initiative is, right, we're launching a game, and we're going to put that on Amazon as well. But it's going to be a biblical game, and it's going to be around wisdom, featuring the Proverbs, and it's going to bring people into the kingdom. And if you guys can be the first people to put your hand up and says, yeah, I'll pre-order my copy of that game, Brother Paul, that sounds like a good idea. I can't wait to see it. So I'm quite excited too. And also, I'm going to be joined by my grandson. So my grandson's getting on to about 10. He's 10 years old, right? So he sees me on the keyboard and he's on his little game. And sometimes he looks up and says, oh, that looks good. That looks good. So he wants to learn how to do things on a digital front, how to build apps and websites and games and stuff. So I'm going to be mentoring him. And he says he's going to be putting his own... He's going to have his own podcast series on TikTok and Instagram or wherever he's on. Right? So he said he's going to be doing everything I teach him. He's going to turn into a podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Now I'm kind of looking forward to that. You know, seeing how this works. But it demonstrates mentoring. You know, you should be mentoring your family, but you should also be mentoring people in the church and also be mentoring people in the community. Hope that's making sense. Now then, let me just check what other big announcements I had before we move on. plans. Okay, fair enough. Now, I have a large event in Milton Keynes tomorrow, so I'm a little bit all over the place because as soon as this broadcast finishes, I'm going to have my lunch and then jump in the car and drive down to Milton Keynes and help those people in Milton Keynes to understand the power of mentoring and the program that ChurchGOers has and all the benefits you guys get for coming on board. All right, let me see now. Let me go to another little mini presentation and then we'll see if we have any questions in the house. Now, where is the Holy Spirit going to lead me to? I have to keep away from that game because it's too powerful for you guys right now. Let me just see what this is going to. All right, let's see what this chapter.
Blessings. In today's rapidly changing world, churches face a unique challenge, bridging the gap between the skills needed to thrive and those our members and community possess. The Kingdom Skills Matrix addresses this challenge. By mapping out the diverse skills within church communities, we can identify areas of strengths and weaknesses, enabling us to empower mentors and allocate resources effectively, launch training initiatives, and foster a culture of continuous learning. To further enhance our impact, ChurchGOers has forged strategic partnerships with leading business and academic institutions. These collaborations enable us to deliver targeted, online training and mentoring programs. By equipping our people with the skills they need to succeed, we're investing in the future of the church. Ultimately, the Kingdom Skills Matrix empowers us all to unlock the individual and combined potential of our church and kingdom members. Hebrews 10:24. Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Amen.
Amen.
Look
amen.
around.
We will. Thank you very much. Yeah, we will. Okay, so what he's saying there is, in order for you to onboard to ChurchGOers platform, we ask you to fill in a little profile. It takes 60 seconds. And by filling in that profile, we have all the information we need to provide a basic mentoring platform. So as coming on, we ask you, well, what's your occupation? Are you a tradesperson? Does this work? Yes, it's working. Yeah, so are you a tradesperson? Are you a professional? An entrepreneur? Do you work in academia? Or are you a student? Okay, so some basic questions. And with that information, all of a sudden your church becomes 100 times more powerful to you, right? So if you as an individual probably see church as this, right? You see people, dancing to Pentecostal rhythm and the Holy Spirit's taking over them. And yeah, all of that is good, right? But in terms of practical value, not spiritual value, not moral value, in terms of practical value, once you come on board ChurchGOers and fill in that demographic questionnaire, this is what you will see on your bench. You will see plumbers, right? You will see accountants. You will see bookkeepers and teachers and doctors. All of a sudden, you're not just seeing saints, you're seeing people that can help you in all aspects of your life, right? You don't see that at the moment because unless you're a very good networker, people are just people. You talk to them and you may know one or two people, what they do or what have you. But in general, the majority of people, you don't know what they do and how they do it, what their occupation is. You don't know how you can help them and they can help you. So if you're a church of 100 people, knowing this information through the platform makes you 100 times better off before you knew this. So if there's 100 people in your church and each one of you is 100 times better off, that's 100 times 100, 10,000 times better off through implementing or through onboarding your church on ChurchGOers. Yeah, if my maths are correct, you're now 10,000 times more empowered, more digitally empowered. Think trust a trader, right? Do you now need to go to Trust the Trader when something goes wrong in your house? When you have someone with those skills on your bench that you didn't know before. It's like the whole landscape changes when you implement the very simple proverb-based principles upon which Churchgoers is based on. It's very, very simple. Very, very simple. There's nothing complicated about my solution to the problems that we face in our society. You'd be surprised. If you come to me with a problem, I say, I can solve that problem. All you need to do is connect with a mentor who's walked that walk before, and he'll tell you how to solve that problem. And if you don't do that, you'll probably figure it out, but you're going to make mistakes along the way. Those mistakes cost you time and sometimes money, and we can't buy time. So therefore, a mentor is the most important person you're ever going to meet in your life. And yet nobody exploits that fact. And that's why churchgoers are so powerful, because we understand the power that's sitting on the benches in churches. We understand how to elevate, to uplift the church to its rightful status by owning something that nobody else owns currently. I hope that's clear, because I can continue to drill down into that. I mean, there's a lot of demographics here for illustration purposes, and even the kids that I showed understood that graphic. But I'll just quickly talk you through this one, and then see if anyone's got any questions. So we have life here, right? There's a timeline from your youth going all the way to past 50, right? Hopefully you'll live twice as long as that, or even more. But in general, life starts in church, and then you go into school and academia and university. In fact, where's my little, there you go. There's you on your knees praying, right? Because you want to be successful, right? And that normally involves praying, right? Because there's only one person that can give you the keys to success. Now, where you're really challenged is when you want to go up the ladder, as we call it, but across from academia into employment, right? Everybody says, yeah, you need to get a degree, get good grades, and then you get a job, and then you have a family, and then you have kids, and everything's like easy. But it's not that easy anymore, because we're living in perilous times. There are a lot of people distressed that the current economy, the world economy, is not great at the moment. So I'm afraid to say, don't kill the messenger, but it isn't that easy to get a job, right? So you come out with uni with a degree, which you do need, but you need it just to be on a level playing field with everybody else. What you need is a mentor that tells you, I'll tell you how to get a job. I'll tell you a few secrets as to how to get a job. The mentoring platform on Churchgoers is where you can decide, you know what, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an IT consultant, I want to be a bookkeeper. You connect with that person beforehand. You connect with them and say, I'm going to university, but where I'm heading is I want to be an accountant like you. Can you give me some tips? Can you give me some nuggets? Can you connect me? Can I get a job at your place? Whatever your question is, this platform gives you the tools in order for you to connect with somebody who looks like you, but has already achieved your ambition, if that makes sense. And if you understand that, you understand the power that the platform gives you. So these people down here represent mentors. And how I like to break down a mentor is just someone who's going to open the door for you, right? Life is going to throw challenges or hurdles. You want someone to open the door and say, no, let me show you the quick way to navigate that challenge. Or let me show you the quick way of climbing the corporate ladder. And sometimes, that's all you need, and ultimately a mentor, will save you time, right? And you cannot buy 1 second more on this life than you were granted. There's no scientist, there's no tycoon, there's no doctor that can give you 1 second more on this planet So if a mentor can save you time, he's the second most valuable person to you other than God. And most mentors you can get for free, certainly on the ChurchGOers platform. And I'm doing this for you guys because, you know, I've seen the power of mentoring. And there are different flavors of mentors, right? So even though I'm encouraging Christians to be mentors, they're just like the first level of mentors. It goes up and up and up as to the skill of a mentor and what they can do for you. So we have cultural mentors, financial mentors, technical mentors, leadership mentors, health and well-being. You know, it's like an A to Z of mentors. That's why I have a mentoring association, because I'm connected with powerful people. Anything you want to do, I'd say, if I can't solve that problem for you, I know a man who can. All right. I know I get a bit excited about mentoring, but hopefully this graphic has helped to kind of like break down mentoring and how that will help you, irrespective of where you are. You don't have to be a student. You could be an adult. You could be, let's say, you could be somewhere here, and you just can't get past manager level. You can't get to be on the board. You know, we've already navigated that challenge. I will tell you best practices as to how you can navigate that challenge in your organization. And we also make you aware of the different routes you can take. Most people go from academia to employment to management to business, right? Most people end up kind of wanting to have their own business. But you can go, you can have a business before you finish school in today's world. Digital technology enables you to do that. One of the organizations in my mentoring association called Ultra Education, they take kids as young as 7, and by the time they're 8, they have their own book or their own t-shirt business or their own gaming business or whatever it is. I'm telling you, they're like me, very driven, but they'll put, if you've got nieces, nephews, sons, daughters that have an ambition, particularly in the digital area, or doesn't have to be tech, but you know, kind of online businesses work best for this. Then send them to Ultra Education or send them to me, and I'll tell them where to go. You know, I help a few, but they do this day in, day out. All right, let's invite some questions from the house before we kind of wrap this up. Any questions in the house, I would be prepared to answer right now from Axe. We've got Axe in the house. We've got Sister Jacqueline. How's your lunch going there? All good?
Yes, thank you very much. Just finishing.
Just finishing. Okay.
Yeah, so that was good. With the mentors,
yes.
How much time do you get allocated to you? I mean, is it all free? Is it a specific time frame or amount of time that you can get for mentoring? And is there any kind of reciprocal arrangement with all their companies?
Yes. So it depends on who you're talking about. So if you're just talking about, so what I'm trying to do is encourage yourself and every other Christian to be a mentor on the platform, right? And so when you fill in that profile, somebody will have the basic information that they need to determine whether or not you are somebody they're aspiring to be, right? So, I'm an IT consultant and I've got a few digital skills. So they might be looking for someone that, they might be looking to become an IT consultant. So the platform enables you to connect to that person. So you say, I'm looking for an IT consultant. Bam, here's a list of IT consultants and here's their profile. And then their preferences their contact preferences will be listed on their profile. So if you don't want to be phoned, in fact, we don't even record your phone number, right? Because I don't think that's appropriate. But we have, if they want to message you or arrange a meeting or talk to you on LinkedIn, or read a book that you may have written, you provide that on your profile. So the arrangement is between the two of you. You determine whether you'll accept a mentorship request and then how long that lasts. But typically it's only a few hours per year. because we're not talking about full-scale mentoring. We're just talking about, really connecting you with a role model, somebody that you're aspiring to be, and someone that might be able to open a door for you or connect you, with an opportunity. Does that make sense? So there's no one size fits all. It's like you may choose to spend a day or a month with that person, or just an hour. But in my experience, 3 or 4 hours, will normally elevate someone, in the right direction. So that's that. But the other time, excuse me, I've got the hiccups here. I don't know why I've not even eaten, right? So if you're trying to, if we're mentoring the church, that's a whole different type of mentoring. If we're mentoring a digital ministry team, then that's a lot more involved in terms of, how much time that will take. Although, as you heard yesterday, primarily we provide all the documentation, all the videos, all the multimedia required to answer all their questions and to fast track them into achieving their objective, whether that is cybersecurity or GDP, compliance, or to get themselves a church app. We provide all the questions and answers up front, and therefore you shouldn't need too much of personal time with me. And we also hope that once you become a mentor, it is reciprocal, as you say. Once you benefit from the system, then you should be encouraged to give back to the system. And in that way, it just takes care of itself. I can just stand back and watch it, the magic work, because you lot will understand the value that you're getting, and you'll want, as a Christian, I would hope, you would want to give back, to the system that you benefit from. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and it's just, to be honest with you, I have kind of not benefited personally as much as I would have liked from having a mentor, right? So I went into an industry that was brand new, so there weren't no people with experience, right? Even if even if I was paying, there was no one there with, we had to learn everything ourselves, and learn primarily through mistakes in some instances, and particularly with young people, when those hormones kick in and they reach teenager, they think they're ready for the world. They think they know everything. They certainly don't want to listen to their parents anymore, because they see their parents struggling to get on their mobile phone, and then they just think, what can my mum teach me now? I know the world better than my mum, so why am I going to her to answer questions that she probably won't be able to answer? So they kind of, I was like that. You kind of build a sort of self-assurance that you understand the world, and you can figure it out. And if you're intelligent, you can figure it out. It's just, how much time do you waste making the mistakes, going down the wrong corner? Do you know what I mean? Follow somebody who's already navigated the right path, and therefore you save time, and therefore, your mentor will be your best friend. Whenever someone gets to the top, right? Whenever you see someone getting an award, an Oscar, whatever it is, they always sometimes they thank God, and more often than not, they thank their mentor. Because that somebody would have opened the door for you. Somebody would have given you an opportunity that you could not afford, you couldn't have orchestrated yourself. Somebody would have shown you a tip or connected you with someone, and that would have been your mentor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And do you navigate, is this on the app? Do you navigate on the app or the website?
Yeah, so this is on the app. So once you, let me just quickly show you, once you, let me go back to here. Once you get on the app, it shows you, so for example, you're a church, right? In fact, it doesn't even matter whether you come on board as a church or not. So let me show you the church view, right? So this, hopefully you can see the app, right? So if I go into my church, and it shows you how people can connect, it shows you our calendar, notices, and this bit is all configurable. You can have whatever you want in that area. It's down to your digital ministry team. All right, so I belong to New Testament Church of God, and there's 150 branches scattered around the UK, right? And the app enables you to see the activity across your entire organization. So they're not all fully on board at the moment, but I can see which branches have got events and the details of those events. I can see all the people who've got businesses within the organization, right across the organization. But we're talking about mentoring. I can see all the mentors that have onboarded onto the platform, and what their skills are, how they wish to be contacted, etc., etc. So this is the bit where, you know, it's just, this is where the power is, right? You can see, you can find someone based on their occupation, based on their education level, or based on information that they put in their profile. Yeah, and then you can, let me just give you a good example. So does that make sense so far? So
oh yeah, that makes perfect
so if you
sense.
click on my profile, like, everything's filled in, and you can contact me on LinkedIn, you can book a meeting on my calendar, you can read my book. It's like, I'm open, right? Because I just want to give back, okay? But when you go into my profile, I can customize it in any way I want. But, you know, at the moment, I've just left that little presentation there just to show people that they can.
It's very important that we support the NCLF because
they can have anything they want that will help people to them or to understand who they are as a person. You know, you might have a presentation about yourself, I don't know. And then it just says, you know, what church you go to, what's your occupation, what's your expertise, digital expertise. And if you have a bio, your bio information will be there as well. So if I was a mentee and I was looking for a technical consultant, I can read this and I can think, yeah, this sounds like a guy I need to connect to. And then this will say, all right, you can connect via email, or you can book a meeting with me, or you can talk to me on LinkedIn, or you can just read my book. Make sense? So it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So do you?
And then what happens thereafter depends on you two by mutual agreement.
Okay. Yeah. So do you have a monitoring sort of mechanism, governance, or just tracking that they're used, or?
Not for this, because it's not a mentoring program. It's it's just a mentoring platform that provides the connectivity. But you know, I don't have a need to know how much time you spend with that. Do you know what I mean? I don't. It's just another degree of complexity that really adds no value to me. So at the moment, we don't do a mentoring program. As such, but we also do training. So training came up yesterday. So, you know, this is my vision of the church, right? So I think churches should look like this, right? Which will probably be, you know, horrible. But, you know, I'm just saying logically, right? There's churches should, they have the premises to facilitate training, not during spiritual time, but our church has a large hall and we use it for all sorts of purposes, you know, weddings and christenings and table tennis and all sorts. And I'm saying, no, we need to be, our challenge at the moment is education, right? We can use that area to train people. So what you're seeing here are all the online courses that you can take. And where are you? Cyber security is there. And some of these are all around basic digital understanding and awareness. And you guys can take these courses now. But we are also going to be delivering courses on an ad hoc basis, as and when we have the capacity in-house. So we will come to churches and deliver specialized courses on certain topics that you can't get online. Or we will train your digital ministry team to deliver curriculum or courses that we have provided that will benefit your church.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So that goes back to what I was saying earlier. And the Alpha Wisdom course is like, they already have the curriculum. They already have the course content. They have already designed everything that's needed. I'm kind of at the beginning of that journey. You know, I want to make things, I want this to go kingdom wide. In order for me to do that, I either have to build a big organization, which is going to be expensive for everybody, or I need to provide all the material up front and then distribute it across the church channels. And that's the method I'm going for. I can give everybody very cheap access to churchgoers because I'm not planning on building an organization. I'm planning on utilizing the resources that already exist within churches. I just need you guys to cooperate. To understand, and then B, to cooperate, to say, you know what, it's a win-win for everybody, you know?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks.
So you've done your job as an ambassador, but it really needs to be Lance, Pastor Lance, and whoever else has the technical skills that now needs to start engaging with me and understanding, well, okay, let me have a look at your blueprints. Let me have a look at your best practices. And let me roll my sleeves up and get that done, you know. And I'm not sure Bishop Nicholson he understands that, but really that's the next activity. It's like, you know, we've passed the talking stage now. It's like, you know, everything you need to understand what ChurchGOers does is on the app. Have a look at it, but really it's about being proactive now. It's about implementation and not discussion. So hopefully I thought the presentation went well yesterday, but until you get people signing up, you know, you're still at square one. You're still at the first base sort of thing. In a way, too good to be true, because everyone's thinking, well, where's the catch? Where, you know, there's got to be something that he's not telling us. You know, £10,000 is something he's not telling us that, you know, is gonna you know, compromise us. But no, you know, and the risk you take by procrastinating is, you know, you get attacked. You get a ransomware attack, or, you know, you get hacked into, or the ICO, GDPR people come knocking on your door. And I don't want to say those words. I told you so. I warned you. I prayed that you guys would listen to the advice, you know, that I'm giving. And I'm just hoping that, you know, with good people like yourself, that you'll keep nagging in the ears of, you know, the leaders for them to take the necessary action. And
we'll get them.
It's a win-win. So do you think you can give a presentation on ChurchGOers now? You must be the most skilled advocate that I have. Are you getting to a point where you're comfortable in what we do and how we're doing it?
No, I couldn't give a presentation. I'm still sitting here learning writing and understanding. But yeah, it is a big piece of work. I mean, you know, get your brain around that. It is a lot, and I think possibly, you know, especially when it comes to IT type things, if you're not that way inclined, it takes, you know, a bit more persuading. I think, you know, because it's a lot to get your head around and understand how everything works. So
well, you don't really need to understand. You just need to look at it from your perspective initially, right? It's like, well, why do I join ChurchGOers? What does it do for me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying it makes you, the very minimum, it makes you 100 times more informed than you were before, because now you don't have to come outside the church to get professionals or to get tradespeople, because you now know where they are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't have to go to Trust the Trader, and we've all been there. I mean, I've got problems with my boiler at the moment, you know, and I'm thinking, if only I had this system last year, I would know where my gas expert is, you know, or my boiler expert, you know, gas safe man or whatever it is, you know, I would know. You know, whereas at the moment, I think I know maybe. Well, I've been speaking to people, but before I started this, I probably only knew the occupations of 2 or 3 people in our church out of 100. You know, And you think, yeah, it makes sense. Why would you hire someone outside of your family when you've got the assurance and the trust, the inherent trust that you've got with that person? It's got to be a better deal for you to hire someone that you know and that's kind of accountable to you than to go outside. You don't know what you're going to get when you go outside. Trust the trader or not, you don't know what you're going to get. That's why they call it trust the trader, because you know the biggest challenge they've got is, how do we know that person is trustworthy? So they're trying to con you into saying that person is trustworthy. But if they're a Christian, maybe you can take it for granted that they're going to be trustworthy. So you don't have that concern. And maybe you'll get a better deal as well. Does it make sense? It's like, for me, it's like,
yes,
I just think, well, wow, I just never looked at church as that. And when you look at what church, you know, when you put aside the spiritual aspects of church and you think of it purely as a network, people pay to belong to networks much smaller than a church. You know, some business networks exist purely on this basis, purely on the basis that you have a skill or an occupation, or you add value in a way that will benefit me, and vice versa. And they pay like £1,000 a year upwards just to belong to a network that affords. And we have that for free sitting on the bench. We just don't know how to mobilize it. And this platform makes it quite easy for you to mobilize it, because as you saw there, we have 5,000 people plus in our organization. I'm guaranteed to be able to find anybody I need that exists within our organization. Maybe they're not in my church, but I can look in my district. If they're not in my district, I can look across the whole UK and find someone, you know, and that's the power. And it doesn't stop there. You don't find someone in your organization, you can scan the whole kingdom and find someone to connect to. I'm telling you, in a year's time, you will wonder how you ever existed without churchgoers, because the benefits that you're reaping will be so powerful. And then the outside world will want in, because they'll see we have something that's more powerful than anything that exists, you know, outside, you know, well, anywhere really. So yeah, that's the vision. That's my that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, it's doing well, going well.
Yeah, you know, God is by my side. But keep praying, whenever you see an opportunity, tell them, you know, have you heard about ChurchGOers? You know, direct them to the app, ChurchGOers, the app, or to this Lunch and Learn session. And hopefully, you know, the message will go around. But yeah, as I say, from next month, we're hoping to do a Wednesday session around Alpha Wisdom. But that will be another way that people can learn about what we're doing in a totally different way. But nonetheless, it will be a very important way for me to get the message around. So,
all right,
let's leave it there for today.
Yes,
I hope you enjoyed your lunch. And
yes, get back to the desk now.
Oh yes. Well, do a good job. Have a good weekend.
Back to my desk. Yes, and I hope it all goes well in Milton Keynes. We'll keep praying for you.
Well, I'll fill you in. All right. Speak soon. Take care.
Yeah. Enjoy your lunch. Thank you very much.
All right then. Bye for now. All right.
Bye-bye.
So this is Lunch and Learn from Brother Paul. Closing the call now, and seeing you again next week. All take care and stay blessed and trust in the Lord. All right. Bye for now.